Hello and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Kingdom Come Deliverance, and we're going to be doing the top 7 best short swords in Kingdom Come Deliverance and where to find them. So by the end of this video, not only will you know which short swords are the best ones in the game, but also exactly where or how to get them, or at least as accurate as I can be. Now keep in mind, when using the term short swords, that's just an in-game description here. These would be called arming swords in the technical term, but it is a one-handed main hand weapon in Kingdom Come Deliverance. And so deciding which one is the best is of course down to several different factors, including how much stab damage, slash, blunt, defense, charisma, durability, all that sort of stuff. But I think that this ranking is fairly accurate, and so we're just going to start off at number 7. And so at number 7 we have the Envoy's Aide de Camp. It says a short one-handed infantry sword, light enough for use together with a shield, unsuitable for combat against cavalry, because obviously it's an arming sword, and arming swords were not great against cavalry. Stats for this one, we have a minimum agility to use it of 10, stab damage of 26, and slash of 26. Neither one of those is particularly high, but it's still a pretty good sword. Blunt damage of 3, defense of 69 is decently high, charisma of 19 is one of the highest in the game. So if you're using, if you just want to pin on a weapon that will help with your charisma, that's, this is one of the best ones in the game for it, and that is why I included it on this list, even though the damage is nowhere near the top for short sword. As far as how and where to get this one, I can do the least help with this one. There are only 2 ways that I know of where you can find this one. The first, and the only one that is actually reliable, is to win the Rattay tournament 27 times. On your 27th victory, you will be granted this sword by Sir Hanush. Other than that, it can be found on dead villagers during random ambush encounters. So those are not predictable. They can happen anywhere on the map. I find that they most often happen between Rattay and Sasau, but what'll happen is you'll be riding along or fast traveling, and there will be a dead body in the middle of the road. It'll just be a villager, and when you go to inspect it, you'll be attacked by other people. That dead body on the road will sometimes have the Envoy's Aide de Camp on him. Other than that, as far as I know, there's nowhere to buy it, and there's nowhere, none of the treasure chests have it in there. And I double-checked the treasure maps to make sure none of them do lead to it. So, like I said, pretty cool weapon, great for charisma. Other stats are okay, but not great. But yeah, no reliable place to buy or loot this one. So let's move on to number 6. At number 6, we have the Vom Berg Sword, which looks a lot like the Envoy's Aide de Camp. This one says, a fine sword, one of the nicest weapons in the area, which Sir Sebastian Vom Berg had made for himself. He gave it to me as a token of his gratitude for defending Johanka in the heresy trial. Minimum agility to use this one is 12, stab damage is 56, slash damage is 56, blunt damage is 3, defense is 75, and the charisma is 19. So this is another one that made it on the list primarily because of charisma. This is one that you pin it on you and it's going to give you a sweet charisma boost. So even if you're not wearing anything else that has high charisma, this sword is a great one to use. As far as getting, and I guess other stats on this are not bad. A balance to 56 for both stab and slash. Neither one of those is bad. Defense of 75 is nice and high, so it does have really good stats, but the main reason I considered this one for the ranking is that, it has one of the highest charisma out of any weapon in the game. As far as getting this one, again, no set place where you can buy this one. In fact, this one's even more rare as it's a unique weapon. You can only get this one if you have the Woman's Lot DLC, and you have to defend Johanka in her heresy trial, and as a reward, Sebastian Vom Berg will give you this sword. That's the only way to get it, other than, I guess, console commands to spawn it in. There's no place where you can find it, you won't ever find it on enemies, and you cannot buy it anywhere. So that is number 6, the Vom Berg Sword. Let's move on to number 5. So next up at number 5, we have the Reliable Blade, and I know that may surprise some people, but it's actually a pretty dang good weapon. So it says, this short sword has ideal defense capabilities. You won't do a lot of damage with it, but at least you've a better chance of keeping your skin. Minimum agility of 8 to use it, balance, stab, and slash of 44, 2 blunt damage, defense of 77, making it one of, if not the highest defense for short sword. Charisma of only 12, but durability is 80. So the reason I included this one, again, 44 is not terrible for stab and slash damage, but it's also nowhere near top tier for damage potential. But it does have very high defense and durability, so it makes it a pretty solid weapon just for those reasons. They are things to consider. Now, if you pair it with a shield, you're going to also have to to be concerned about your shield's defense and all that sort of stuff. But the reliable blade on its own is actually a fairly solid defensive weapon. It's often one of the weapons that I will pair with an archer build. A lot of times I don't like running around with a shield if I'm being an archer because it slows you down and getting it out and everything. Plus it just doesn't look right for roleplay and everything. So I like to have a sidearm for if people get too close. The reliable blade is a great one for that because of how high the defense and durability are. So if I'm constantly blocking with it or parrying with it, which is what I typically do, I'm not just damaging the crap out of it or taking a bunch of damage. So the reliable blade is one of the best arming swords in Kingdom Come Deliverance. As far as how and where to get this one, as far as I know, there are no stores that stock it. I didn't double check that, but I don't think there were. Now, it can be found all over the place. It's a very common loot item from bandits. I know there's at least 3 guards in Sasau that are equipped with it, but really, one easy place that I know you can get it is here in Talmberg, just inside the Gatehouse Armory. So you can get this as early as the run mission way at the beginning of the game. But basically, if you're coming in from the outside, you come straight down the drawbridge, up to the right, so right around the corner here, and there will be guards here usually, so basically you just have to make sure none of them see you. If they start walking around, you just wait for them to go past, then you sneak inside, and you go up the ladder, and so once you're up at the top of the ladder, there's 2 locations for it. You can either find it in this chest, which will be locked. I don't remember how hard the lock was, because I already picked it, but you can see that it is right there, so you can find one of them right there, or in this barrel right next to it, which is not locked, you can also find it, so it's right there. So that is one set location where you can find at least 2 reliable blades, but like I said, they're also very common loot. So that is number 5. Let's move on to number 4. And number 4, we've got one that I quite like the looks of a lot, the old family heirloom. This one says a short sword that served many generations and for its durability earned a worthy name. Robust material of the blade and exemplary craftsmanship guarantees it won't wear out too easily, whether wielded by grandfather, father, or son. Minimum agility to use this is 10. It has a balanced stab and slash of 48, blunt of 3, defense of 77, so again, one of the highest in the game, tied with the reliable blade. Charisma of 17, so also not bad there, and durability of 90, so this one is just a very well-made sword. It's kind of the same thing as the reliable blade. I like it a lot for a secondary weapon for an archer, because it deals halfway decent damage, but has decent, like really high defense and durability. Plus, I like the way this one looks better. As far as how and where to get this one, it can be found as loot. I have found it on bandits before, but the most reliable ways to find it, the first one is to win the Rete tournament 24 times, as it is the prize for the 24th tournament victory, or you can find it in Treasure Chest 15, which I will show you the solution to now. But that is the old family heirloom at number 4. Let's move on to number 3. Our next one that comes in at number 3 is the razor. This one says a short sword with a fine quality sharp blade which can slash through any armor and chop an opponent without armor into goulash meat. Minimum agility to use it is 9, so that's nice and low. Stab damage of only 46, but slash damage of 64, so one of, if not the highest, slash damages for one-handed swords. Blunt damage is 3, defense is 72, so not bad there. Charisma 16, and durability 68. So all around, the razor is an excellent sword, and in fact all of these top 3 swords are going to be decently high in all stats. They have decent defense, decent charisma, decent durability, and nice high damage. So this one is one that I find myself using a lot, especially if I know I'm going to be slashing. So this one's one that I like to pair with more of a knight or man-at-arms build where I know I'm going to have a shield equipped with it. As far as how and where to get the razor, this one is one that is pretty easy to get. You can obviously get it from winning tournaments, because most weapons and things in the game you can. You win the Rete tournament 18 times to win this one. Otherwise, you can just buy it or steal it from either the Rete or the Sasau swordsmith. So as far as stealing this one goes, it's not quite as easy as some of the ones I've showed you because it is actually not on display anywhere in the shop. So if you want to steal it, you're going to have to actually pick the very hard lock in the chest on the back, but I can just show you where to buy it quick. And you can see there's the razor. He has it for sale for 1.5 thousand groschen, actually 1,525.9 groschen. So you can purchase purchase it here, or if you want to be a little bit more sneaky with it, since it's not on display, it's one of the weapons that you can steal in the middle of the day. So if you want, you can sneak into the back room here, lockpick this hard door, if you haven't already, and you should be able to get it from this cabinet here, this light brown one, which has a very hard lock on it, but if your lockpicking skill is high enough that you're considering stealing this instead of paying 1.5 thousand groschen for it, there it is. So there's the razor. So that is how you can do that to get the razor if you want it. And then of course, once you've stolen it, you can legitimize it, just take it down, put it in the chest at the mill, and buy it back from Miller Peshek. So that is the razor at number 3 and how you get it. Let's move on to number 2. And at number 2, we've got another classic that everyone's probably pretty familiar with, the Stinger. This one says, the Stinger is a versatile short sword with a very sharp point. The blade won't take too much hacking or chopping, although a stab at the right moment can easily deliver a fatal wound even through thick plate armor. Minimum agility to use this one is 10, stab damage of 79, so one of the highest damages in the entire game for weapons, slash damage of 47, blunt of 3, defense of 76, charisma of 17, and durability of 86. So, it's actually just an all-around great weapon. So slash damage is obviously a lot lower, but 47 is still higher than a lot of slashing weapons in the game. So even as a slash weapon, it's still quite good. 79, like I said, is one of the highest damage stats for any weapon in the game. So that's obviously great. And our defense and durability are actually still really high. So 76 for defense and 86 for durability. Neither one of those is a bad stat. The description makes you think that maybe it's not very durable, but it is. So it's just all around an excellent, excellent weapon. And the Stinger is also relatively easy to get. You can either get it from Ancient Treasure Map 1, which I will show you now. Or you can get it from the Rattay Swordsmith. So I'll just show you it in there. And so this one, like I said, you can get it at the Rattay Swordsmith, but if I said buy it, that was a misnomer because that's not what I meant. He does not have it for sale. What he has is he has it equipped. So there's lots of ways to do this. For one, you can run in here and stab him or shoot him in the face and just take it and run. Or you can wait until nighttime and then go upstairs to where he's sleeping and open the chest next to his bed and steal it from there, and or take it off his person because I don't remember if it's on him or if it's on the chest. Now the lock will be very hard for the door. You can come in obviously from that bottom door. That one's not locked. But then he'll be sleeping in this bed, I believe, and so it will be in this very hard lock chest. So once you've gotten into this chest at nighttime, and hopefully you haven't woken him up, you'll be able to steal it from this chest, where all of his stuff will be located. At least I think it's in this chest. It's either in that one or in this one. But that is a set location on where you can get it. You cannot buy it, so yeah, either the Treasure Map 3 or off of the Rattay Swordsmith. Those are the set locations. Obviously, it's also a loot item that you will find on heavily armed bandits, especially the heavily armed knights that you'll find in Skallets from time to time. But I think both of those ways are a fairly reliable way to get it. Finally, at number 1, we have the Noble Sword, which says primarily a symbol of aristocratic power and only secondly a weapon. The fine swordsmith's handiwork will command respect not only from feudal subjects, but also from foes. A master swordsman can work wonders with this noble short sword, but if not handled properly, it's of no use other than ornament. This one for stats has a minimum agility of 11 to use, stab and slash damage of 61, so both of those are the second highest. It has the second highest stab damage for any short sword and the second highest slash damage. Blunt damage of 6, which is actually really high for a short sword. Defense of 75, which is nice and high. Like I said, the second or third best one for short swords. Charisma of 18, which is nice and high, and durability of 53. That's the only negative side, is that the durability is lower. That's not terrible because that'll still last you a long time if you're not beating against, plate metal, but that is the only downside of the Noble Sword. All the rest of the stuff is just really, really good. Plus, it looks awesome. Notably, this is the same weapon that you'll find Sir Divish wielding throughout the game. So, as far as how to get this one, there's a couple different ways. One of which is Treasure Map 13, which I'll show you now. Other than that, you can win the Rite tournament 26 times, or you can loot it off of Hagen Zul because it's the sword that he uses. So if you play the Band of Bastards DLC all the way to the end and you end up fighting Hagen Zul, depending on what you do, you can get it off of his corpse if you defeat him. So there is a couple ways to get the Noble Sword. Also, it is a loot item. It's not very common, but it can be found on high-level bandits in the game. So that is our top 7 best short or arming swords in Kingdom Come Deliverance and exactly where or how to find them. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful, but that's all for today, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.